Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, don't neglect your woman. I've actually got an email here today from a woman who's recently filed for divorce from her husband after they've been going through a trial separation. What's interesting about this particular email is this woman's soon-to-be ex-husband is an avid follower of my work, but he's taken some of the things that he's learned from me. He initially found my work and started applying it when she went through the trial separation with him. Then he started dating and courting her properly, and that wooed her, and she thought, hey, you know what? Maybe things are going to work out. Maybe we're going to be able to reconcile. But it's like once he got her back, it's like he threw everything he learned right out the window and started being ultra selfish and started ignoring her, not spending time with her. She started complaining and be upset more. They started arguing, and she just was unable to get through to him. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then we're going to go through his email, and hopefully if the guy is watching and listening, I'll be able to talk some sense into him. Because otherwise, he's going to end up divorced. So the quote says, usually, when women are upset and complain about their men not making time for them, all they are really asking for is that they date and court them properly by spending time together on a regular and consistent basis. However, the average guy starts to argue and justify why he is not or no longer is dating her properly, instead of simply dating her on a regular basis and making her feel special like he did when they first started dating. This makes women feel like their men don't listen to them. Guys typically dig their heels in and use logic and reason in an attempt to win the argument, as women start to feel like they are not heard, understood, or loved. If a man is unable to understand that his woman simply wants to spend more time with him, eventually she will give up and start spending her time with someone else. Guys who can't seem to find the time to spend with their wives always end up finding the time to spend with their divorce attorneys. And when I coach guys that have been in long-term relationships, have been married for several years, 99% of them, they're all guilty of this. Things are great for the first few years, and they get busy with their business or their career. They get into that provider mindset. I got to earn money. I got to be a money mule, if you will, and bring the cash home. I want to get that promotion. And yet their wives are saying, we need to spend time together. You need to spend time with your family and your children. But, I got to work late. I got to do this. In 6 months, I'll get that promotion, and then we can spend more time together. And then they get that promotion, and then they're even busier. And they okay, well, when I make vice president, then we'll spend more. And it's just one excuse after another. And then women will give them the benefit of the doubt for a period of time, but the bottom line is a woman knows if the guy is no longer spending time to date and court her properly, it doesn't matter what comes out of his mouth. She looks at his actions. If he really loved me and really cared about me, he'd date me. He would take me out. He'd make me feel special. And sadly, unfortunately, most guys that find themselves in these situations, that's the biggest problem. Like I said, in my coaching practice, 99% of the time, that's what guys do. They stop dating and courting their wife properly. And that's basically what this guy said. He even got my book and he turned things around initially, but it's like as soon as he knew he had her back, he kind of, in essence, went back to his old ways. So she says, Dear Corey, I recently filed for divorce from my husband after a trial separation. My husband is a really big fan of yours, watches your YouTube channel, and purchased your book. During our separation, my husband used the information in your book to woo me, and to be honest, it worked. Well, of course it did. That's why I say all the time, if you don't believe what I teach, just apply it. You will see that it works. He began courting me the right way, and I thought we would reconcile. My husband is really into health and fitness and began entering fitness competitions. He started to make less and less time for me and more time for himself. Well, it's great that he's into fitness competitions, but what's happened is he got complacent. Now he figures he's got you back, and I need to focus on my fitness competitions. And the bottom line is he's not making you feel loved. He's not making you feel special. And it's not, obviously it's having a negative effect on your attraction level for him, which is totally predictable, and it's exactly what I teach in my book. So what does this tell me? The guy probably hasn't read the book 10 to 15 times. He probably read it a couple times. He's able to woo you back and thinks, fuck, this is great. I don't need that relationship shit. Fuck what that dude Corey says. I love his channel, but I'm just going to watch his videos from time to time. Instead, he didn't learn the fundamentals. He got some success. He thought he had it all figured out, but he didn't really spend the time to learn it, learn the book backwards and forwards until it became instinctual. And so here we are. My husband began telling me that in order for him to make me happy, he would first have to make himself happy. Which is true, but it doesn't mean you neglect and stop dating and courting your wife. What you do to get her to fall in love with you is what you got to do to continue to keep her in love with you. Though I agree with this statement, I think my husband took it too literal and just used it as an excuse to be selfish. Well, what this tells me is he didn't read the book 10 to 15 times. He got you back. He got you back in love. He got you thinking that and wanting to reconcile. And as soon as he felt like he had it all together, then he's like, oh, great, I'm going to go focus on what I want now. And that's what he did. He told me that working out and doing what he wanted in life had to be first in his life so that he could be happy. I went along with it for several months until I got tired of him not making me one of his priorities. Yeah, it's like he's ignoring at least half of what I teach in the book. It's like I see this all the time. People are just fucking lazy in general. They don't do the little things. It's like one of the things that Wayne Dyer says. It's never crowded along the extra mile. Most people simply will not persevere and will not do the little things in order to be the success that they're capable of being, in order to reach their full potential. I see it all the time. Guys in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, everybody's got talent when you get to that level. But the guys that become really great and get into the Hall of Fame, they work like fucking freaks. Guys that have talent, it's like you can skate by on talent in high school and college and not really be a serious athlete. But when you get like to the NFL or Major League Baseball or soccer or the NBA, that shit ain't going to fly because you're playing against the best players from all over the world. And there's almost 7.5 billion people on the planet. And you figure there's maybe a few thousand people in any one of the major leagues. So there's always somebody who's got just as much talent or maybe a little less talent than you, but they're going to outwork you. They're going to work harder. They're going to study more. They're going to do more in order to be successful. And that's why if you've ever followed any of the documentaries they've done like on Navy SEALs, it's like what they're really doing is they want to find out who really wants to be there, who really wants to be a Navy SEAL. If you really want to be a Navy SEAL and you feel like it's your purpose and your mission in life, you'll endure the cold water. You'll endure the long runs on the sandy beach. You'll endure holding that fucking big giant log over your fucking head. You'll endure those things because you have an emotion compelling reason why you want it. Other people that are just doing it for vanity, or they're thinking, hey, I'm in great shape, I can do this no problem. They get there and they get their asses kicked and they go and they ring the bell and they wash out. Most people don't make it. Why? Because they're simply not really committed. It's a gut check. How much do I really want this? And it's everything in life is like that. When it comes to starting a business or climbing the corporate ladder and having a really great successful career where you reach your full earning potential, or getting in shape, losing weight, taking care of your body, most people are just not willing to pay the price. It's like what Bobby Knight said, the famous basketball coach. He said most people have the will to win, but they don't have the will to prepare to win. In other words, people aren't willing to do the little things. And I see it time and time again as a coach. It was one of the things that's frustrating as a coach, but at the end of the day, you got to participate in your own rescue. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's just like this guy. He realized he had a problem. He goes, he finds a book like mine and my YouTube videos, and he doesn't listen to the advice that I give him. He doesn't read the book 10 to 15 times because he starts getting immediate results. He woos you back, and then what happens? He just throws his shit right out the window and he gives you an excuse. Oh, I got to focus on my fitness career and my competitions. And all you're saying is, just make me feel loved. Just make me feel like you care about me and that you want to spend time with me. He did it at first, but as soon as he thinks he's got you back, he goes right back to his old habits. And unfortunately, that's the way most people are. Hopefully he's watching this video and he'll pull his head out of his butt and save his marriage. But maybe he will, maybe he won't. We constantly argued about this topic to no avail. Well, what does that tell me? He definitely didn't read the book 10 to 15 times, because men who understand women, they never argue with them. They communicate with them in an adult and loving manner. And if he really had taken the time to learn what's in my book, he would have understood that all you're really saying to him is just spend more time with me. Take me out. Wine me, dine me, buy me flowers, if you will. That doesn't mean go out and buy flowers all the time, but it's a figure of speech. The point being is that he's not dating and courting you properly. In other words, what you do to get your woman to fall in love with you is what you do to keep her in love with you. And he did not do that. Instead, he started using logic and reason to try to argue with you and win his point why he needed to focus on his competitions and why he couldn't spend time with you. And he completely ignored the fact that all you were saying is just spend time with me. Make me feel like you love me and you care about me. I want to feel heard. I want to feel understood. But he didn't. He took a shortcut. And that's unfortunate. But you know what? He made his choice. He made his bed. Now he's got to lie in it. Since he watches your channel, I was hoping you could explain that making yourself happy isn't a pass to be selfish in a relationship without damaging it. You are absolutely fucking right. Now hopefully he is watching this video, because if he doesn't read the book 10 to 15 times and he doesn't start dating you properly, and he doesn't start communicating like an adult instead of arguing like he has been doing, it's nothing that nobody can do for him. Maybe he's got to learn this lesson the hard way. Maybe he'll learn when he's single again. It's unfortunate, but like I said, you got to participate in your own rescue. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.